Hello everyone, welcome to this week's video. I hope you're all doing well. I want to wish Mazel Tov to David Mann, who celebrated his 85th birthday this week. And I want to wish him a year of gesund, of good health. We are moving quickly through the subjects of Vayeitzei, of Bereshis. We're now up to the subject of Vayeitzei, which really begins the story of Jacob. He left his parents' home. He had to flee for his life because he'd taken the blessings that should have gone to his brother Esau, and he was going to find himself a wife. He was told by his parents, go to Haran, go back to where we come from, and find family there, and you will be successful, which is what he did. He was blessed. He went to Haran, and he met a girl who was his cousin called Rachel, and he wanted to marry her. And as we know the story, he made a deal with Lavan, his father-in-law, that I'll work for you for 7 years, and I will marry your daughter. Then, of course, came the wedding, and it was dark, and he couldn't quite see what was going on. And he woke up in the morning, and behold, he hadn't married Rachel, he'd married Leah, he'd married the sister. Now, if that happened to me or you, I think we'd be quite livid. We'd been cheated, right? We'd be angry. We'd be shouting. We'd be enraged. We'd storm in and let loose. But we find with Jacob it's different. It says that he came to Lavan. Vayeitzei, he said to him, "What's going on? I worked for you for Rachel for 7 years, and why have you cheated me?" The word Vayeitzei always indicates soft speech, rational speech. When we have the word Vayedaber, that means he spoke harshly. That's an intensified speech. But Vayeitzei is always soft speech. So we see that Jacob had an immense level of self-control. That even though he was obviously very dejected and disappointed and felt cheated, imagine working 7 years, it's a big commitment of time, diligently for his father-in-law in the hope and promise that he'd settle down with the girl he loved called Rachel, and now he's been cheated. Nevertheless, he still spoke, he still behaved like a mensch, he still behaved rationally, without losing, without getting angry, and that's incredible. And we actually find a similar event happens later on. He says when Jacob eventually leaves Lavan, he sort of escaped when Lavan was out 3 days away shearing his sheep. And he said to his wives and his children, by that time he was a father of 11 children, he had 4 wives, and he had lots of cattle, and he said, "Look, we've got to go." And they said, "Okay." And they went, and Lavan heard about it, caught them up. He said, "Who's taken my idols?" Because Rachel had stolen the idols from her father. She obviously didn't want him to serve them. And he started rummaging through Jacob's personal belongings, which is, of course, very intrusive. He was going in and out the tents, and sort of helping himself. And eventually it says Jacob did get angry. But then again, we find the term Vayeitzei. He spoke. He said to Lavan, he said, "What have I done?" So he made his point. Well, it doesn't have to be shy to say what they want to say. But we find that he retained his equanimity, his calmness, his ability to overcome the emotion of the moment and focus on what needed to be done. And yes, he was forceful. He said we had to say. He said, "Why have you chased me, and me and my family, like we're slaves?" He said, "I worked for you for all these years, and you cheated me, and I don't owe you anything." But nevertheless, he said it all in the way that a calm, rational, collected person speaks. And that's the message. We have a verse in Koheles, in Ecclesiastes, that tells us, "Divrei chachamim benachas nishmaim." The words of the wise are heard when they're said pleasantly. So when a person goes shouting, ranting and raving, they very rarely get heard, they very rarely get anywhere. But if one has something to say, and one says it in a calm, collected and rational way to the right person at the right time, then one can hope that they'll be listened to and responded to correctly and appropriately. So that's the message for this week, and I wish you all a good Shabbos. If you can come to shul, we're going to have a lovely Cholent Kiddush this week, and we'd love to see you. Especially appeal to the ladies who've been missing for so long. It used to be so nice to see a strong core of ladies on the ladies' side of the shul, and we are still being careful and safe. And I'm sure you're missing being in shul, so consider coming back when you feel ready, and we'd love to see you. Wish you all Shabbat Shalom.